The White House says it's focusing on getting the message out about the Biden administration's American Rescue Plan. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill as the House passes the massive COVID relief bill.
Authorities in Missouri charged the owners of the Circle of Hope Girls Ranch with dozens of felonies.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The U.S. House today passed a nearly $2 trillion coronavirus economic relief bill, sending it to President Biden to sign into law. This is KOAM News at 5. President Biden has said his number one priority since coming into office is to pass this bill. Reporter Skyler Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
The motion is adopted.
Democrats have passed President Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package without Republican support.
We're all conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that we are equal. But in this body, it seems as though only one can have a voice.
One of the Republicans inside this House, unanimously apparently, opposed this bill, while some 60% of the Republicans in America polled say we're for this bill.
Included in the bill is an extension of federal unemployment benefits at $300 a week, money to help schools reopen, increased vaccine distribution, and support for state and local governments. It also includes a tax credit of up to $3,600 per child.
The expansions in this bill are estimated to cut child poverty in half.
Well, who's going to end up paying back that $5,500 per person? It's going to be the very children that we are professing to help.
And there will be a new round of stimulus checks, $1,400 for individuals making $75,000 a year or less, and $2,800 for couples making less than $150,000. Those will start going out this month. President Biden will be able to sign the bill into law this week, as the nation marks the one-year anniversary of the global pandemic and shutdowns across the country.
I can announce that the president will sign the bill at the White House on Friday afternoon.
The immediate focus is on increasing vaccine distribution to reach as many people as possible.
Today, we're averaging above 2 million shots per day.
The Biden administration is purchasing 100 million more doses of the Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccine. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President today met with the CEOs of Johnson & Johnson and Merck at the White House. The two competitors have reached an agreement to work together to manufacture the J&J vaccine. Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Instapoll. Today's question is, how do you feel about the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill passed by Congress? You can vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on them a little bit later in this newscast. The Biden administration is grappling with a growing number of migrant children arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border. Under a pandemic health rule, families are still being turned away, but not children showing up on their own. That includes more than 3,200 unaccompanied children in Border Patrol custody as of Monday, according to data obtained by CBS News. The White House is asking for $4 billion over the next 4 years to address the situation. Checking in with Doug Hetty now for a first look at the weather.
Hey Dow, a very warm, very windy day once again for us today. Temperatures back into lower 70s, even mid 70s in our western counties. Also very windy, just like we saw yesterday. We are seeing those winds which have been gusting at times 40 upwards to 50 miles per hour. Look at the sustained winds in that 15 to 25 mile per hour range, and then our gusts 45 to 50, which is crazy. It's going to stay very windy as we go through the evening hours, and then these will diminish a bit as we go into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. The clouds have actually been breaking up over the past few hours, but just to our north and west, we have a cold front right across northeastern parts of Kansas. And right along that front, we're going to start to get showers and thunderstorms developing through the evening hours. This is going to be late evening into the overnight, mainly after 8 or 9 p.m., staying mainly in our northern counties and then pushing south after midnight. Some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. Dozens of felony charges are filed against the owners of the Circle of Hope Girls Ranch. Boyd and Stephanie Householder, the owners of Circle of Hope Girls Ranch in Cedar County, Missouri, are charged with more than 100 felony charges combined. They include sexual and physical abuse charges as well as neglect charges. In August of 2020, the state removed around 20 girls from the facility And the Attorney General's office got involved in November. The Attorney General's office says so far 16 alleged victims have come forward.
With 16 victims so far, we believe this to be one of the most widespread cases of sexual, physical, and mental abuse patterns against young girls and women in Missouri history.
The householders are currently in custody at the Vernon County, Missouri jail. We're going to have reaction from one of the alleged victims tonight at 6. The Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce offers General Motors a $200 million package if they bring a battery factory to Joplin. Yesterday, the Chamber President, Toby Teeter, sent a tweet to General Motors pointing out $200 million in incentives and savings if the company brings that battery factory to town. There's also been a page dedicated to the effort on the Choose Joplin website. Teeter says if the company comes to Joplin, it would bring 1,000 jobs to the city.
We had contact yesterday at the highest level. So we are talking to General Motors, but more interestingly is just from this opportunity of telling our story about General Motors, unaffiliated with General Motors or even battery technology, we've had 2 other business attraction leads come about this morning.
This is much like April when the Chamber was trying to bring Tesla to the area. Teeter says while Tesla did not come to Joplin, 2 other large companies have decided to come. He says those companies will be announced soon. Still ahead, the economic impact from 12 months of COVID.
For the past year, the pandemic has been disrupting and reshaping the economy. I'm Nancy Chen with a look at the impact on businesses and jobs and what we can expect in the future.
And next in Health Watch, new evidence shows the need for obese people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. New data finds women tend to report more adverse side effects to the COVID-19 vaccine than men do. According to the CDC and the FDA, more than 13 million vaccine doses were administered from mid-December through mid-January. Of those, nearly 7,000 adverse side effects like headaches and fatigue were reported. The CDC says about 79% of those were among women. More evidence shows that obese people should get the COVID-19 vaccine. Naomi Ruckham reports.
Research shows obesity increases the risk for severe COVID-19 illness. Now a CDC study of more than 70,000 hospitalized COVID patients from March to December finds nearly 51% were obese, 28% were overweight.
People who are obese and get COVID-19 have much worse outcomes.
Dr. Dariush Mozaffarian is a cardiologist and dean at the Tufts Friedman School of Nutrition Science and Policy. He authored another study that looked at more than 900,000 COVID hospitalizations. At least one of 4 conditions, obesity, hypertension, diabetes, or heart failure, was responsible for the majority of hospitalizations nationwide, with obesity being the top risk.
COVID-19 is like, pouring gasoline on a fire when you have those underlying conditions, because it attacks not only the lungs, but attacks the blood vessels and it causes inflammation throughout the body.
Many states are prioritizing that patients with obesity receive the COVID-19 vaccine. It's estimated 42% of adults in this country are obese.
The government is telling us every day, appropriately, social distance, wear a mask, hand wash, all of these really important things to reduce the risk and bend the curve. But at the same time, it drives me crazy as a physician, as a public health expert, that officials haven't also been saying, and eat a little bit healthier, move a little bit more, exercise.
Dr. Mozaffarian says he hopes more people get the message that maintaining a healthy weight can be life-saving. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Experts say obesity can also affect the immune system, which can make people more vulnerable to infections and make it harder to fight them. Doug returns next with his complete 7-day forecast and later advice from our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Jude from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about how to get your cat to use her litter box again.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another warm, very windy day for us today. Temperatures shot up into lower 70s during the afternoon. And of course, the winds have been gusting 40, 45 miles per hour at times. But still, look at our temps. Very warm, across the region. 77 Yates Center, 72 in Owata. Pittsburgh checking in at 70. We have 70 as well in Anderson, but these strong southerly winds at about 20 upwards to 30. That's sustained. And then on top of that, if you look at the wind gusts, we're getting winds gusting 45 upwards to 50 miles per hour. So the winds are going to stay very strong through the evening hours until our cold front passes through, which is not going to happen till late tonight into tomorrow morning. All right, currently outside sitting at 70, south winds at 22, humidity is bumped up. It's at 55%, and through the evening hours, we'll slowly drop through the 60s down into lower 60s, but it's going to stay very warm. But look at our northern counties though. You'll drop into the upper 40s while everybody else stays in the lower 60s, and that's due to that front, which is going to be sagging south. Clouds have worked out, pretty much clear skies. We have a few little cumulus clouds out there, but just to our northwest, that's where our cold front is. So this is wave number 1. Here's wave number 2 that pulls in Thursday night and into Friday. Let's go ahead, zoom in. Here's our little dry line slash front. You can see a few little thunderstorms which have been popping up. Bigger storms just north of Kansas City, but we're going to watch right along this line and see what can get going as we go through the evening hours. These are mainly going to be in our northern counties, but still something we want to watch. So here's 8:30 p.m. Scattered thunderstorms, northern counties along the cold front. As we go through the overnight hours, these storms will sink a little bit farther south. So here's midnight, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. After midnight, another little wave rolls in. This will give most of us thunderstorms, but this is late. This is 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Some of these could be strong, most likely not severe, but some of those definitely could be strong. Continuing into tomorrow morning, we'll see showers in the morning and then kind of tapering off as we go into the afternoon hours. But temperatures are going to be significantly cooler for us tomorrow. We'll start at 63, 57 by noon, down to 53 as we head into the afternoon hours. So severe threat, at least for us tonight. This is mainly northwestern counties. This is due to the storms that we see between, let's say 7 p.m. and also midnight. I'm going to keep all the threats on the low side. So tornado, hail, wind, rain, all on the low side, but still something we want to watch. All right, let's look at wave number 2. Tomorrow night, we'll start to get showers increasing again. So here's Friday morning. Showers, thunderstorms. Some of these could be strong, most likely not severe, but strong. Bands of showers and thunderstorms. Here's Friday evening. And look at this trend. So I can go right through Friday night. Let's go into Saturday morning. Showers, thunderstorms. Saturday afternoon, thunderstorms continue. So we get this trend over the next several days. Also rainfall, and this is just until Saturday. A lot of areas are going to pick up 1, 2, maybe 3 inches of rain, but the rain continues on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. 63 and dropping tomorrow, 64 on Friday, 66 Saturday. Of course, don't forget, flip the clocks forward 1 hour Saturday night, and more thunderstorms all the way until Tuesday. It's going to be very wet.
I guess so, but it's that time of year when that's not that uncommon.
Yeah, it's very common for March. Not that we all like it, but
there you go.
Happens.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, how the pandemic has impacted businesses over the past year. First, though, we honor a local World War II veteran. Robert Withrow served in the U.S. Army from 1944 to 1945. The Nevada, Missouri native was stationed in Guam, and we salute Sergeant Robert Withrow, a 4-state hero.
Doug
Owners of certain Kias are being urged to park it outside. That's because the automaker is recalling 380,000 vehicles, including certain 2017 through 2021 Sportage SUVs and 2017 through 2019 Cadenza sedans. The company says a short circuit in the electronic brake control unit can result in overheating and possibly a fire. Tomorrow marks 1 year since the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus outbreak a pandemic. The shutdowns we saw last year had a massive impact on the economy, devastating some sectors much more than others. Nancy Chen reports.
Fry's Electronics started in 1985 and operated 31 stores in 9 states. But last month, the company decided to close its stores for good.
It's very sad to see Fry's going down like this.
Many brick and mortar retailers were struggling before the pandemic. Now Fry's joins a list of well-known apparel and department stores forced to shut down partially or completely in the past year.
It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and I've covered retail for almost 20 years.
CoreSite Research CEO Deborah Weinswig says more than 8,700 stores closed in 2020, and she projects 10,000 more will shutter this year.
The worst is still yet to come?
The worst is still yet to come, yes. And it's several-fold, right? It will be permanent store closures. It will be retailers closing flagships where the rent is the highest.
When the pandemic hit, the stock market nosedived, but was able to end the year at record levels. Jobs took longer to recover from the massive shutdowns. The unemployment rate jumped from 3.5% in February 2020 to 14.7% in April, eventually dropping to 6.2% last month.
There's still about 10 million Americans who are officially unemployed.
Mark Hamrick from Bankrate.com says jobs are expected to grow this year as life gets closer to normal. But it's not clear what the new normal will look like. Whether people streaming at home will fill up movie theaters, if takeout eaters will dine in again, or if business travel returns after a year of virtual meetings.
The question for the future really is how many of those things will stick? How many of those will try to leave behind?
There's no questions about online shopping. It's more popular than ever and will continue to take a toll on traditional retail stores. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Let's take another look now at our KOAM News Now Insta poll. Again, we asked, how do you feel about the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill passed by Congress? So far, 35%, about 1 in 3, say, yeah, sounds good. 58% say too expensive. 7% say doesn't go far enough. We're going to give you plenty of time to vote on this. We're going to have the final results tonight on KOAM News at 10. Our Pet Vet on Call is next. CBS Evening News is next, then on KOAM News at 6. We're going to have a reaction to felony charges filed against the owners of the Circle of Hope Girls Ranch. Plus, the head of the Kansas Health Department gives an update on when the state will move to the next phase of vaccinations. And Labette Community College breaks ground on a new $5.8 million athletic complex. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. All right, pet owners know potty training a pet can be a challenge, and sometimes those pets ignore the rules even after they've learned them. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: what can I do about a cat that repeatedly uses an expensive rug in the hall rather than her litter box?
Yes, they can. And if they can smell that someone has been there, they are going to try to reclaim their territory. But it could be other things too, like she likes the quiet and privacy of the hallway, or she likes the medium for going to the bathroom as opposed to litter, or she doesn't like a dirty litter box or to share a litter box. Most specialists will tell you that you should have one more litter box than you have cats. So in this situation, there should be 3 litter boxes in that house. What I would do is clean that rug with an ammonia detergent and put a litter box on that spot. Then also an extra litter box and a different litter in at least one of those boxes. And I think you can get her to be a good girl again.
If you have a question, whether it's about a weird habit of your pet or a health concern, just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudak from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. All right, now let's check out this week's picks of the litter from the Joplin Humane Society. We've chosen Charlie, a male Labrador Retriever mix puppy, and from the SEK Humane Society, we've chosen this 5-month-old female short-haired cat named Ollie. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Let's check back with Doug now for a final look at the weather.
All right, showers, thunderstorms starting to pick up as we go through the evening hours. This is mainly going to be in our northern counties, but everybody will get into the action, especially after midnight tonight. Some of these could be strong, maybe even low-grade severe, so we'll watch that. Showers during the morning hours tomorrow, and then this will taper off a little bit during the afternoon. Much cooler, we're going to drop into the 50s for highs, but rain sticking around all the way through the weekend.
It's also allergy season,
yes.
Doug Heddy. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.